Product manager would then take care of that, make sure it is maintained, iron out bugs, take care of additional feature requests, propose nice to have changes, want to add a monitoring system to keep track of which sensors are performing, how they're performing, when the last time you received data from them, things like that. Industrial data scientists and industrial engineers is another application of IoT in the industrial space, where they would need to have an understanding of computer science concepts in addition to how sensors work and domain outcome. And then developer would be someone who can actually work on the entire process end to end, but also work on hardware. So now a full stack developer would be seen as somebody who can work on databases to store data, some form of application layer to actually pull data from the databases and provide it to the user interface layer, which would convert it into some sort of graphical representation. The fuller stack developer, on the other hand, would require all three of this. They would need the UI layer, the interface, the front end layer, the back end layer, as well as the database, in addition to understanding of hardware as well, to be able to say, for example, connect sensors to the network, um, configure the correct protocol transformations to actually read data from the sensors, process that sensor data, all of that as well. And then you have the IoT cloud architect and cloud engineers who would configure the cloud which supports these IoT devices or networks. Salary trends from the 2017 IoT State of IoT in India survey basically show that it is doing better than typical IT in the sense that it is a newer field, especially in India. It has not gained a lot of popularity until last 5-6 years. So the median salary is around 5.2 lakhs, and this graph here shows how the salary increases based on experience. And most freshers once again start out at less than 6 lakhs, but then they gain almost in a linear progression as they gain experience, with most of the professionals having 12 plus years of experience earning over 30 lakhs a year. And it's also a high growth industry, which basically has a compound annual growth rate prediction of almost 25%, which is among the leading in terms of growth rate. The only comparable industries are, I guess, manufacture. So it's one of the highest growth rate industries, which basically means, if I were to explain it in concrete terms, is if you're in the first year now and there's 1 lakh, first year of engineering now, and there's 1 lakh jobs available for IoT. By the time you finish another 3 years and graduate, then that 1 lakh will have become 2 lakh jobs. So it means that the number of not jobs exactly, but the size of the industry itself is growing at a rate of almost doubling every 3 years. And it's predicted to have an overall industry size of like 10, sorry, how many? It's multiple trillions of dollars by 2026. For IoT are mostly big companies, since they're the ones capable of providing both the hardware as well as the software and the platforms on which to build IoT solutions and marketize them. And some of the emerging roles in IoT, which will be coming up, and some of which have Chief Internet of Things Officer, robot coordinator. Robot coordinator, what it basically means is somebody who takes care of an automated setup. Say, vertical situation. If you are working in a factory which had the hyper automation, where you have all aspects of the engineering process automated and maintenance of that process also is automated, then a robot coordinator would be a person who takes care of any issues and makes sure that there are replacement robots, or is able to analyze and fine tune the AI that is keeping track of the optimization. That is one aspect. Then neural implant tech expert would be one who bridges the gap between IT as well as medicine, where you would be able to understand the IT implications and the medical implications both. And another emerging role is ethics officer, especially when it comes to things like privacy, data protection, correct use of people's data, targeted marketing, things like this. There's a growing awareness that this data and these used in a responsible manner. So, and just to give you an example, get an entry into IoT is understanding of sensors, industrial controllers, good understanding of security, network security, internet security, various security practices. Um, Data analytics, AI and ML has always had a big impact on uh, Internet of Things, and it is one of the ever-growing use cases of it. Business intelligence, understanding how to leverage this all the same data, but not necessarily for AI, but to provide insights for business as well. UI UX, but to provide insights for business as well. UI UX design is another field which is ever present and across all verticals, because as long as there is a need for human computer interaction, UI UX design will always be there. But this field also is evolving in the sense that it is no longer limited only to visual interaction. So it's not only like interfaces in terms of the screen space that you'll be designing. UI is also taking on a dimension of like tactile interaction, where you would interact with your phones, like whether it will vibrate on touch, whether there needs to be any other feedback. Auditory, like when you now have voice assistants where you can actually speak to your computer. So UI also is evolving, and that is also a skill set which is always going to be in demand. Mobile and remote development, which combines both the ability to program for traditional mobile devices like iPhones and Android phones and other phones, as well as the ability to embedded Adreno processor to know how to write code which is highly performant on low powered hardware or lower powered hardware. You can't really say that it's low powered anymore. Then there is hardware engineering, where you would actually understand the embedded systems and how it would communicate and the connections of hardware and stuff like that. Then networking and communication technology, of course, and cloud technologies. To the end of my talk on Internet of Things, I will leave you with a quote by Mark Weiser, who was very influential on Wall Street, and he is famous for having created a fountain in front of the New York Stock Exchange, which would basically set the height of the water based on the current performance of the stocks. One artistic use of the Internet of Things is what I thought. So that's it from me. Please let me know. But I think I've already overshot my time.
Kuntireddy garu, for your excellent delivery of this concept IoT. So, any queries from the audience? From the participants, any queries?
Okay, no queries. Then I can wrap up, I think, because I'm already like 15 minutes over time.
Yeah, it's okay, Kuntireddy garu. Thank you. Someone is asking that what is the difference between AI and IoT?
Okay, so the process where you analyze an available set of data to come up with solutions where you enable the machine to make choices. So it doesn't need to be data from sensors as such. It could be data from say digitized images or scanned pages from a book. So if you take an example of scanned pages from a book, an application of AI would be something like OCR, optical character recognition, where you would train the AI based on known characters. Like handwriting recognition is the typical example, where you would take a known set of letters and then train the AI based on those to make a choice to actually determine which letter it is seeing, and then translate that into the corresponding digital equivalent, ASCII letters or UTF-8 encoded letters. Um, So that would be an application of AI. AI is doesn't care; it is agnostic in terms of what is the source of data that it is processing. IoT, on the other hand, is basically anything that is not really a computer can be that is but is connected to the internet or can be connected to the internet. So even if you have a chip attached to the side of your like microwave, which lets you turn it on and off, then your microwave that would be the difference basically. Um, and AI is not necessary for IoT in the sense that just like if you attach a chip to your microwave, then you can always turn it on and off from some like app that you developed for your phone. There's no need for any AI there. It's just passing a signal forward and backward from like the device to a command and control center and back.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other queries from the participants? Okay, I hope
Which industry have you been in for the last 4 years?
Uh, right now, I was developing Python related tools,
Okay,
data related.
okay. So if you're already coming from the programming side, then no, you will not be considered as a fresher. Uh, the some of the things like Python programming can be used directly for IoT related applications, especially if you're moving towards UIs say, based on like if you want write web services in Flask or Django or something like that, because IoT has three distinct segments. There is the things, which is basically the edge. Then there is the network, which is everything that connects the edge to the internet. And then there's the internet itself. So when you talk about the IoT, there's still the internet aspect of it as well. So what you've done in terms of work on the internet is also transferable